Our next speaker is transforming the way women understand, manage, and optimize their health. Rochelle Waite is a clinical naturopath specializing in functional, immunology, and hormonal health, and she is the only naturopath in Australia to hold master's degrees in immunology, women's health medicine, and reproductive medicine. As the founder of Thrive Her, Rochelle works with women experiencing complex hormonal and autoimmune conditions, helping them move beyond symptom management and towards lasting health and well-being. Her unique blend of scientific expertise and practical solutions has made her a trusted voice in women's health. Today, she'll be sharing insights that challenge conventional thinking and empower women to thrive at every stage of life. Please welcome Rochelle Waite.
Thank you. If I could share with you one message that's come to me over and over throughout both my research and my clinical experience, it's that given the right circumstances and given the right input, the body has an amazing ability to heal itself. Your body isn't broken, it's communicating. So I want you to take a little moment now and just think to yourself, sitting where you are, what signals are your body sending you right now? While you're doing that, I'd love to take you back to the mid-90s. I was a researcher at a big Melbourne hospital, the Alfred Hospital, that saw some of the sickest patients in Victoria. Now, as part of my research, I had this amazing professor, brilliant scientific mind, incredibly compassionate man. And we had, as part of our research, the opportunity to sit in on some of the consultations with these very sick patients. And this is what the consultation went like. Mrs. Brown, I've reviewed your case file and your situation is dire. You will die in the next 6 months. We can offer you some very strong medicine, but that comes with great side effects that will be of detriment to how you live. I'd love it if you took the weekend to go home, talk to your family, and we'll talk on Monday on how you'd like to proceed. I'm sorry. And we'd walk out. Nothing more than that. There was no discussion of, are you eating? Can you drink? How do you sleep? Do you have any support at home? All the things that are necessary to support your body to heal and to try and gain some form of life. It was at that moment that I left conventional medicine and sought out a more holistic form of care, being naturopathic medicine. Your body is not broken. It is communicating. We all want to thrive through life. And I want you to consider the word life. L-I-F-E. If you want to have that thriving health, you need to L, listen to what your body is telling you. I, actually identify what's happening. F, seek out an appropriate solution. And the E, execute that. Now, you may need help finding that, but there is that help available. Today, I'd like to introduce you to the Thrive Code. This is a very strategic and specifically purposed pathway to healing. Now, a few things about healing. It's taken you a while to get to where you're at now. You can't expect a magic pill to instantaneously get your health back on track. That's not how it works. In fact, the magic pills that are out there and the medications we receive actually dampen down the symptoms or the signals that our body is trying to send us. However, health does not have to be hard. And that is the core tenet of everything that I base my practice around. This 6-part journey to health isn't all work. It actually sets up a bit like a row of dominoes. Once you start it, it all starts to fall into place. But realistically, when you go on this journey, you need to allow probably about 12 months realistically for things to right themselves. You're not doing a lot of that work, your body is. So don't be too scared by this. The first stage is a fabulous stage, the ignite stage. This is where you can implement some really simple, what I term micro habits, those 1% habits that can actually snowball into big effects. Things like when you wake up in the morning, getting some sunlight. 5 minutes of sunlight is enough sunlight to switch off your melatonin production. What that does is it stops the crash you get at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Get up and drink a glass of water because you've been dehydrating yourself for the 8 hours that you've been sleeping. There are lots of tiny micro habits and they're so simple to incorporate, but they prove massive in getting your body back on track. The stabilize phase, this is the one I'll talk about the most, partly because it's the one I'm most passionate about, but this discusses the core foundations of your health. Without getting those correct, it's really hard to make any health changes. Imagine yourself driving down a highway. You're driving down and all of a sudden your check engine light comes on. How many of you go, I'll get to it? We don't. We go home and we put oil in our car because we know if we don't attend to it straight away, then there are dire consequences for the car. Why don't we do that for our health? The stabilize phase is all about test, don't guess. The things that you want to look at are your inflammation levels, number one. In every 30 trillion cells in our body, we have a cell membrane around every cell. And if that cell membrane is inflamed, nutrients can't get in, waste can't get out, signals go haywire inside. Would it surprise you if I told you 95% of the world's population is chronically inflamed? The biggest load of data in all medical research is in that field. This is based on 1.8 million people. It's huge. It is something very easy to fix. You can fix that chronic inflammation, which leads to issues with anxiety, with hormonal control, with aches and joints, with your eyesight declining, which is why a lot of these things happen as you age, because the inflammation builds up. That can be fixed in 4 months. And it's not a not on off switch. Some people notice a difference after a week. It's a bit complex for this. I can point you in the direction of further information if you're interested. The other one is gut health. We have 100 trillion microorganisms in our gut. They far outnumber our cells. The signals they send out are far greater than the signals we send ourselves. If you look after your 100 trillion new best friends by feeding them a variety of foods, think the rainbow, they'll look after you. Once again, something that is easily fixed. Nourish comes down to the nutrition. Once again, not just feeding our gut bacteria, but also feeding the rest of us. By the time you've done all of this, this pretty much happens for itself. So by the time you get to that 4 to 6 month mark of really not doing much, it's a couple of supplements, maybe eating well, maybe a few habits, this all starts to right itself. This one here, the regulate phase, this is important because now your body's able to handle the messages that it can get from the rest of the world. Your immune system improves, your nervous system improves, which then leads on to the balancing of your hormones. That your hormones are responsible for basically the communication of everything throughout your body. It's the messenger system. And that corrects itself if you have these foundations right. Bringing us to the sustain phase, which when I'm working with clients is my favorite stage because by the time they've got to there, they're a completely new person. They have more energy. They can interact with the world without wanting to crawl into a hole. And it gives us the opportunity to envision what they would like to do with the rest of their life. So if there's anything that I could get you to take away from today, it's that your body isn't broken. It's communicating and it's time for you to start listening. Thank you.